Okay. Before the 1900s, in order to get past the Americas, ships would have to go all the way around South America, which took a long time. So wouldn't it be great to just cut through this thin stretch of land in South America? The best location for such a canal was in Panama, located just above South America. Only 50 miles of land separated the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. But as architects, engineers, doctors, leaders, and workers would soon find out, constructing this monumental canal was no easy feat. When it was completed, though, it not only contributed greatly to the world economy, but it also had a tremendous impact on the world today and shows the human race's power to achieve mammoth accomplishments. According to the History.com page on the Panama Canal, construction was first initially started by the French in 1880. The project was headed by Count Ferdinand de Lesseps, who constructed the Suez Canal in Egypt between Asia and Africa. Something the French didn't consider and led to their downfall was that the place they wanted to put the Panama Canal was actually 85 feet above sea level. On slide 2, you'll see how the French intended to build the canal straight through the terrain of Panama. This was predictably nearly impossible with the equipment at the time, and eventually, after 20,000 deaths, they had to abandon the project. 1 decade later, President Theodore Roosevelt decided the U.S. should build the canal, and after employing some questionable military tactics, negotiated a deal with the U.S. to build a canal in the U.S.-owned area of Panama. After a disastrous start to the project, when the U.S. also began trying to build a canal at sea level, the new project director put together more effective methods and changed the plan to a lock canal, where rather than cutting straight through the terrain that would go up, the water level would be raised in sections called locks, bringing the ships up the land and then back down on the other side. Additionally, a new sanitary officer worked painstakingly to eliminate the deadly diseases of the area and save thousands of lives. After the long stretch of land was excavated using dynamite and carried away on trains, the concrete for the locks was first poured in 1909. After years of hard labor, the canal was finished, and the first ship traveled through in 1914, changing the world landscape forever. On slide 3, you'll see some of the famous figures that were influential in building the canal, starting with Theodore Roosevelt. The 26th President of the United States, he decided it would be beneficial for the U.S. to construct the Panama Canal. The U.S. purchased the French's assets and attempted to get the rights to build the canal from Colombia, but they declined. The U.S. used their military influence in order to get Panama independence from Colombia, and then got the rights to the canal zone from the newly independent country. This plan was successful, although many Panamanians disliked the deal. Roosevelt oversaw the entire construction of the project, and Burton Gordon from Encyclopedia Britannica is quoted in saying, "Roosevelt supported the project so enthusiastically that he is almost universally thought of as the father of the canal." Under Roosevelt, John Stevens managed the project, devising new and more efficient methods for building the canal and convincing Roosevelt the lock canal was the best option. After several years, Stevens suddenly resigned before the project was finished, and Lieutenant Colonel George Washington Goethals was his replacement, who played a factor in improving facilities of the workers and finishing the canal's construction. Finally, the most important person in the construction of the Panama Canal was Chief Sanitary Officer Dr. William Gorgas. Dr. Gorgas used his knowledge that mosquitoes carried the detrimental diseases to fumigate homes and clean sitting pools of water. Robert Dill, who worked on the canal, said in a documentary on the History Channel that Dr. Gorgas, quote, called off all the work on the canal until he got everything in a sanitary condition where men could feel free to work. His efforts caused the elimination of yellow fever in the canal zone and a large drop in malaria cases. With all of this men's hard work, as well as all the laborers, the gigantic canal was finished. But exactly how large was it? Slide 4 provides some perspective. The Encyclopedia Britannica provides that the lock chambers are 110 feet wide, 1,000 feet long, and 40 feet deep. TrackSchoolBus.com provides that a full-size school bus is on average 8 by 8 by 15 to 35 feet, meaning that 2,000 school buses could fit in a single lock, and there are 12 locks. The doors weigh 660 tons, but because of intelligent gearing, only require 40 horsepower motors, same as some current-day industrial lawnmowers. In an expansion project started in 2002 and finished in 2016, a new set of locks was built, over 3 times the size of the original locks. A single one of these new locks could fit over 6,500 school buses. The Panama Canal is a massive structure that plays a huge role in shipping in the world today, with over 14,000 ships using the canal each year. On slide 5, you'll see that Thomas Herbert Russell, a member of the National Geographic Society, authored an overview and review of the canal in 1913. In this book, Russell makes some statements about the magnitude of the canal and how much of an architectural and engineering feat, offering high praise for this incredible achievement. A direct quote from him is, "The Panama Canal is indeed tremendous work, dwarfing all other undertakings in human skill and labor." He also wrote, "At the time that will be saved from the canal in transit between the great trading centers by the opening of the canal is of almost inestimable value." A second review of the canal comes from Ralph Emmett Avery, a traveler and lecturer who oversaw the construction for almost 2 years. He wrote a book chronicling its construction and providing his thoughts on the structure, published in 1915, published by the Leslie Judge Company. He provides similar praise that Russell did, saying, "Mankind's dream of the ages has now become a reality, and the grateful homage of appreciation resounds with praises of recognition of the wonderful results which our skilled artisans achieved. No one can be indifferent to this universal cause for satisfaction, since the success obtained is something which will benefit the entire human race." Clearly, many were impressed by this monumental achievement, and rightly so. Critics found the Panama Canal to be massively influential massively influential achievement and gave it high praise. The Panama Canal was a monumental effort started by the French and finished by the U.S. After Teddy Roosevelt obtained rights to the canal. Many thousands of lives were lost until Dr. Gorgas developed tactics for eliminating the disease-carrying mosquitoes. The canal was eventually finished in 1914, and many praised it for its scale and impact. Today, the canal is used by tens of thousands of ships each day, and it plays a huge role in the world's economy and shipping industry. To conclude, the Panama Canal is a massive architectural and engineering marvel that not only surpasses in scale all previous constructions, but is also extremely influential in the world shipping industry today.